Hello, we are bringing you now live visuals from Gaza, where dozens of freed Palestinian prisoners have arrived at the European hospital on the Gaza Strip. Among them are injured detainees transported by a bus following their release by Israel. Well, let's go live now to Tareq Abu Azzoum, who is in Khan Younis in southern Gaza. Tareq, can you bring us up to date about what's happening there?
Yes, that's right. 12 buses right now have arrived to the European hospital in the city of Khan Younis, southern Gaza. They are carrying at least 600 Palestinian detainees that have been completely sent and transported to the Gaza Strip by the International Committee of the Red Cross. The first vehicle has the first bus has completely emptied the Palestinian detainees, who will undergo a complete medical check. In order to be reunited with their loved ones. We can see that those Palestinian detainees are coming out from the buses being completely exhausted. We can see signs of exhaustion, signs of the misery and the suffering that they have been enduring in the Israeli detention centers. Many of them have been given shirts by the Israeli military saying that they are chasing their enemy. They never forget and they will never forgive. These signs have been psychological messages that had been even attached to the bodies of those Palestinian detainees once they have been allowed to be released and to be reunited with their families. We can see many of them are coming out from the buses. They are trying to flag to their families, trying to give them a sign that they are still alive. Families are waiting at the background, very patiently, desperately waiting to be reunited. Lots of those detainees are not even able to completely understand the level of happiness that is unfolding them, because they never expected to be released today. As a part of the first phase of the agreement, the seventh batch of the release of the Palestinian detainees is the largest. We're talking about 600 Palestinian detainees will be completely released from the Israeli detention centers, and now the International Committee of the Red Cross is facilitating the reunion of those Palestinian detainees with their beloved ones. It's absolutely very emotional and dramatic scene, as the entire process has been supervised by the International Committee of the Red Cross, as they are trying to also facilitate the movement of the buses in a scene that has been quite emotional for those families. Now we can see that the second bus has been quite now empty, and the third bus is moving slowly right now to be stationed in front of the medical point that had been set by the International Committee of the Red Cross. We understand the level of coordination between the ICRC and the Gaza's Health Ministry to conduct a comprehensive medical check for those prisoners who are looking very exhausted, very tired, drained and dehydrated. I can see right now in front of my eyes that lots of elderly men are right now coming out from this bus, and absolutely they are trying to show the sign of victory and to be completely facing a great difficulty in walking. We can see now one of the members of the ICRC is trying to help one of these detainees. Seems that he's suffering from a critical injury in his leg, to facilitate his movement in order to be medically checked. This has been a very dramatic scene, that those Palestinian detainees are coming out from the Israeli jails in this shape. They are absolutely look like older than the ages, with very catastrophic tears. I can see many of those have come out with black bags under their eyes, very cold, and their physical appearance have been widely changed based on the testimonies of their families. Now this is the third bus that right now arrives to the European hospital, and right now security forces are trying to secure the entire space of the European hospital in a very dramatic scene that Palestinians have been long awaited. This batch of detainees has been suspended to be released by the Israeli occupation forces following the Israeli concerns over the way of the treatment that the Israeli captives are completely receiving treatment by the Al-Qassam fighters. I can see now a woman next to me. She's shouting and she is calling one of her loved ones who has been released at the moment and arrived to the European Union. Many of those Palestinian prisoners are coming out, raising the sign of victory. This is a very amazing scene and another historic one. But the grim reality is that many families are still also waiting for the release of their beloved ones. There are still thousands of Palestinians behind the Israeli jails, and they are waiting for an opportunity and their turn to be released by the regional mediators who are trying to completely contain the entire crisis. We can see that now the fourth bus is moving slowly to reach to the same medical point now. This scene has not taken place without the extensive negotiations that took place, where Hamas has decided to release earlier the bodies of 4 Israeli captives, which completely stemmed from a series of events and negotiations aimed at maintaining the fragile ceasefire with Israel. We understand that also Hamas's delegation's visit to Cairo facilitated renewed discussion that enabled both parties to carry out a simultaneous exchange, where Hamas has managed to hand over the bodies of 4 Israeli captives to the International Committee of the Red Cross, while Israel had released the previously withheld Palestinian detainees. Now, also that we have seen that both parties are trying to contain the entire fragile ceasefire. This agreement, in fact, helps to save the current ceasefire, which has been in place for 6 weeks, where the initial phase involved the release of 25 Israeli captives in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. And we can also understand that discussions for a second phase will be focusing on a permanent end to the conflict, and it will also help to release the remaining Israeli captives as anticipated. Now, this exchange that we can see at the moment is completely significant step towards fulfilling the obligations of the ceasefire's first phase, and may pave the way for further diplomatic efforts, in fact, to resolve the ongoing crisis. But apparently, what we understand is that the situation remains very critical for those prisoners who are still completely behind the Israeli power, as the release of those captives, the delay that has been seen regarding the release of those 600 Palestinian detainees has previously caused deep frustration and anger among the families who have been waiting very anxiously to be reunited with them. Many had gathered last Saturday in anticipation, only to be met with silence and uncertainty as Israel postponed the process for security consultation. And we understand that later there has been more pressure made by regional mediators in order to completely contain the other crises. We need to remind our viewers that the entire ceasefire remains very delicate, where Hamas had previously announced that the Israeli military needs to completely withdraw from the entire Gaza Strip in order to guarantee the success of the first phase of the ceasefire agreement. And it's worth noting that the Israeli military will withdraw from the Philadelphia corridor next Saturday as a part of the ceasefire agreement. Now, we understand also that for many Palestinians, this temporary truce has helped to release hundreds of Palestinian detainees, and also enabled Palestinians to be reunited with their beloved ones. Now, this development is seen as a critical, symbolic step in this current ceasefire agreement. It will enable and it will set the stage for further negotiations and potential captive releases in the coming days. Now, this handover of the Israeli bodies demonstrates Hamas's real intention to seriously engage in diplomatic dialogue that can facilitate a smooth transition to start negotiations for a second phase of the ceasefire deal. Now, Israel will certainly right now conduct some sort of comprehensive DNA test for the bodies of the Israeli captives that will help them to completely identify and to match their identities. Now, we also see that Egypt and Qatar have played significant role and practiced their leverage to push for further agreements. But the entire handover of the bodies is highly sensitive and carefully coordinated process that took place earlier today in the city of Khan Younis. Now, we understand that there have been no signs of ceremonies that had been made by the military wing of Hamas. This could be an outcome of the regional mediators, Russia, in order to contain the situation and to enable the release of the Palestinian detainees, as you can see in front of you at the moment.
OK, our correspondent Tareq Abu Azzoum there bringing us those live developments there. Do stand by, we will return to you in time.